Since World War II, the United States has carried out countless classified programs, ranging from intelligence gathering to clandestine operations to advanced weapons development, each designed to create some type of strategic edge over our foes and our friends on the world stage. What is required to deem a project top secret?
The government classification process is very simple. There are 3 levels. There is confidential, secret, and top secret. Basically, confidential are things that could cause problems if they were made public. Secret could cause big problems. And top secret usually refers to something that, if publicly exposed, could cause grave harm to the American national security.
If something's top secret, typically not only can you not share the information in those systems, you can't even confirm or deny that there is such a system or a project or information. Because by merely confirming that it exists, you're providing a useful clue to any adversary that might want to take advantage of that fact. So, for example, if you were to create a weapon system that would create an enormous advantage versus any peer competitor on Earth, you would want to keep that weapon system secret until the time came to actually utilize it. Partially, this is so you can achieve surprise with the weapon system, and partially, it's so that your adversaries don't build their own versions of that same idea.
Ultimately, top secret means the public don't know what is the truth. That is how government wants it, and that's why it was designed that way. If you're operating in secrecy, in theory, that means you may not be held responsible for any of the actions. So you've got room to maneuver there.
In the United States, it's estimated that more than 1 million individuals have the security clearance to view top secret information. Most of those people work for one of the 18 different agencies that comprise the U.S. intelligence community. And of those, perhaps the most infamous is the Central Intelligence Agency.
The CIA is unique as an intelligence agency in that it is not part of any other department. The National Security Agency is actually part of the Defense Department. The Defense Intelligence Agency is part of the Defense Department. The Department of Treasury has its own small intelligence agency. CIA is independent on its own and has the authority to conduct covert operations. And these are operations that offer the U.S. government a plausible deniability. But there's a downside, which is that there's a relationship between too much secrecy and too little trust from the American people.
When we think of government secrecy, sometimes we'll knee-jerk it and say, oh, well, it's sinister, it's evil, they're trying to keep important things from us. Yes, I think sometimes that is definitely true. But any government that has the responsibility of protecting its nation, it's not impossible to see that there would be secrecy on things that, at least in their mind, would be for the protection of the public.
Since its inception, the CIA has been accused of everything from orchestrating coups in foreign countries to assassinating world leaders. No one truly knows the full extent of the agency's activities. But most experts believe the CIA's biggest secret is located somewhere inside the mysterious facility known as Area 51.
Area 51 is in southern Nevada. It's the most famous secret base in the world. For many, many years, it was completely secret and no one knew about it. It was created in the very early 1950s under CIA control. And it was designed, and still I think functions today, as a secret base for the Air Force. What is known is that a lot of secret testing of advanced aircraft went on there. You've got this massive, dry desert lake bed that's ideal for aircraft that need long runways, for example. And more importantly, it's just very remote. It's not an easy place for any person to get to. So if you're gonna have a secret base, that is a good location to have it.
Area 51 was established as a direct consequence of World War II and the Cold War, because we are continuing in the development of a technology that will become the U-2 spy plane. The introduction of this technology is a massive escalation of the tensions of the Cold War. And during the Cold War, there are Soviet spies throughout the United States. And we continue to test other aircraft at Area 51. Because of this, the secrecy must exist.
There are signs at the border that say, warning, use of lethal force authorized. If you cross the line, you will be arrested, you might be shot. The CIA kept the existence of Area 51 secret for decades. I mean, this was not publicly acknowledged until quite recently. And certainly it's true that some of America's most iconic aircraft were developed and test flown there. So there are many, many people who believe that within this kind of top secret program of cutting-edge aerospace, that there's an even bigger secret at Area 51.
The crazy thing about Area 51 is that we learned about it in the world through the subject of UFOs. And that's through the testimony of Bob Lazar, who back in 1989 claimed to work at S4, which is part of the Area 51 complex, on a series of flying saucers. That was the context in which we learned about it. Now, Area 51 would make a very, very excellent location to do some studies of flying saucer type technologies because it's remote. But I think it's a reasonable supposition that UFOs have been studied there, or technology related to UFOs have been studied at Area 51 and probably a few other places as well. The US government would want to reverse engineer any kind of alien technology that it got its hands on. Of course it would. And so it's possible, but it's absolutely not known or confirmed by anyone.
Could the United States military actually be studying alien technology at Area 51? While only a handful of individuals with the highest top secret clearance know the truth, some experts speculate the rumors about aliens and UFOs are precisely what the government wants us to believe.
We do know that there's a cover story wrapped in a cover story, and that the US government absolutely adores the fact that we are so distracted with the narrative of alien technology and reverse engineering at Area 51, because it means we're not paying attention to the things that are actually happening there. And so maybe the best way to handle super secrecy is to hide it in plain sight.
If you have a place like Area 51, you can say they're doing anything, and the government's not going to say we're not doing that. The government's going to refuse to comment on it. So it becomes this kind of suck hole for conspiracy theories, and maybe we'll never know.